What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Coocumber Reviews provided by Coocumber Incorporated. I hope you all have been having a good summer. Guys, this is my review of MEG 2 The Trench, the sequel to the first film, MEG, that came out in 2018, which I got to go see with my buddy Russell in the car. You can check that video out on my YouTube channel, and if you're into that sort of thing, pop on by my channel. Don't forget to say hi, where I do movie reviews, sometimes book reviews, I talk about video games, and most importantly, I talk about pro wrestling. If that is something that you're into, drop by and say hi. But if you do not want to be spoiled, I'm going to be dropping some major spoilers in this movie. I'm going to be diving deep into the trenches of spoilers. If you do not want to know what happens in this film or the book, I strongly recommend that you head the other way. But if you're all ready, let's take a deep dive into The Trench. Alright, so first things first, when the first movie came out, I was really excited. I loved reading the book, and I was just so pumped that me and my buddy Russell went and watched the first film together. That review is on my YouTube channel. I strongly recommend that you go check it out. Miss you, Russell. So when I finally got to see this trailer for this movie, I was like, oh, I wonder, because I had heard some rumors that, you know, that they were actually going to make this a little bit more gory and maybe make it a little bit more serious like the book. Not exactly. So when I actually first started watching this movie, other than the fact that I forgot that my lovely wife purchased me a 3D ticket and I forgot about it, after I went and got my 3D glasses, I noticed I was in a movie that was basically the combination of MEG, Fast and Furious, and The Transporter. It's almost as if they just took these three films, put them in a blender, and just mixed them all together, and boom! There's MEG 2 The Trench. We see Jason Statham once again playing the character Jonas Taylor, and I have no idea how to spell his name correctly. Anyways, so instead of Jason Statham being the character of Jonas Taylor, who is not only obsessed with his death, but obsessed with killing the pup from the last MEG from the previous movie and book, this time he's just Jason Statham. Here lately, it does kind of feel like Jason Statham, and he's a great actor. I love Jason Statham, but it just kind of seems like here lately, like every single character he plays, it's the same person. It really kind of feels like he's just playing the guy from Transporter or Fast and the Furious, just he's not really killing people. So it's really just Jason Statham. We do get some of the returning characters from the previous film. We get DJ and I think the one girl from the other movie. But that's pretty much about it. I will say, though, what they did do, they did take a lot of things from the book. I want to say they probably took as much things from this book as they did from the previous movie with the first film, or from the first book. I will say, though, the beginning of the movie, they took the opening from the first book and put it into this movie with, you know, like you getting like each creature that eats something gets eaten by something bigger, like, you know, it goes up the food chain, and then they actually take a scene from the book where the Tyrannosaurus is actually chasing some creatures and it goes in the ocean. Although I cannot remember in the book, I think in the book the T-Rex kind of gets like stuck in the mud or whatever in the ocean, and that's when the MEG attacks. But anyways, they took that scene. It was perfect. I loved it. I was like, yes, they're finally going to be taking some stuff from the book. They did a lot, but I was disappointed that they took away the main creature from the book, and the main creature in MEG 2 The Trench is actually not the MEG, believe it or not. It is actually the Kronosaurus, which I'm actually still reading the book. I don't remember exactly what's going on. I'll have to give you an in-depth review when I'm done, if y'all want that. But they did take a lot of things from the book, but they did switch some things. So in the book, Jonas Taylor's love interest, her brother dies in the first book. And in this film, we see not only has his wife, I guess, they never mention that they got married or anything like that. His love interest, Suin, and her father, his father-in-law, they both died. Now, his father-in-law, I can't remember if he dies in the book or not. I'm probably getting ready to find out here in a couple hours, or whenever I finish the book. But they did change some things, and it wasn't bad. They did bring back the relationship between him and his now stepdaughter, and I'm going to be honest, their relationship has kind of worn out its welcome. It was a lot better when she was little, because she was just so gosh darn adorable and cute. And now she's like a teenager, like, you know, they have the relationship of, please do what I ask you. Okay. You didn't do what I asked you. Why are you here? That type of thing. And I really wish that they had Jonas really, like, you know, going through like the whole thing of like, what am I gonna do with a teenage daughter? How do I raise her? How do I get her to listen to me? Like, you know, have him go through a real dynamic. Instead, it's just, are you gonna listen to me? I love you. Pretty much, it just kind of feels stale. It worn out its welcome. And, you know, they both do a great job, but I really just wish that there was more development there. There's really nothing there. It's just, boom, single stepfather, I guess. I don't know how that works. But I will say, though, the best part of this entire movie is when they go to the trench itself. Yeah, in the title of the film, The Trench, they go down to the Marianas Trench, and I liked it. I will say, though, that the trench has kind of lost its mystical feel, kind of, except when it comes to this. When they first dive down in the beginning of the film, like when we see, like, you know, cuts and stuff, it doesn't feel like this mystical world anymore, and a truck is backing up. It doesn't feel like this mystical world anymore, but there are some tense scenes in this. Now, another thing that they did take from the book, and this has to do with the whole part of the trench, in the book, the pup from the first Meg, named Angel, because she's known as Angel of Death, keeps trying to escape her paddock. Now, the Meg does escape, but it's not this, like this overwhelming, worrying thing. Like, that's what Jonas is obsessed with. He wants to keep the Meg. No, he actually wants to kill the thing, but he keeps it, they keep it in the, it's like a big aquarium, pretty much. And, you know, in the book, he's so obsessed with killing it because he's having nightmares, and he thinks him killing it will actually bring him peace and get rid of his nightmares. And this, they do the whole entire thing with his wife's brother, where they made it Jurassic World, pretty much. They made it to where he's trying to train the Meg, and they're doing this whole, oh, we have a mystical bond, and I'm like, no, you don't. This thing is a man-eater. That is exactly what she does. And he's like, no, she's not going to hurt me. And I'm just like, bro, why are you in the water with this thing? Why? Why are you in the water with this dangerous thing that has not been seen for millions of years? So the Meg escapes, and when they go down to the trench, they discover that there's more than one Meg. Now, from what I know, there's only, there was 2 Megs. And now there's just one, Angel, until she eventually gives birth to her pups. But that's kind of what made the shark so mystical, that there was only one. And then, like, when they have the shark coming in and, like, swimming around, they find out that it's this big mating ritual. And they also find that this underwater habitat place, like this underwater bunker thing, that's in the book too. And I was like, okay, that's from the book, that's from the book, that's from the book. And I was very surprised what they took from the book and put it in this movie. They did a much better job than I thought they were going to. But anyways, them walking through the trench, there actually is this very tenseful scene. Someone's glass mask breaks. Like, you know, like in the trailer, they had like these suits where they could walk on the bottom of the ocean. And there is like a tense scene, you know, they're like, okay, we have to move very slowly. They have to move very slowly to not alert the Megs, and they have very little oxygen. So, you know, okay, who's going to make it? You know, obviously Jason Statham and the kid. Yeah, the kid's down there too. But there's this really tense scene, like, okay, who's going to get eaten? What's going to happen? We can't see anything. They do describe, though, and I think they were able to capture how dark the Mariana Trench is, because it's pitch black down there. It is so dark, and I think they captured that perfectly. You have no idea what is behind you, what's around you, what's in front of you. It was done well. There is a very tenseful scene when someone's mask gets cracked, and you're like, oh my gosh, is she going to make it? Is she going to make it? Is she going to make it? What the heck's going to happen? And it paid off. I was like, thank you, good for you. And, it, like, you know, we don't really get much of the scenes with the Meg, because the Meg actually isn't that much of a focus in the book. All it is they're trying to capture, and she's eating whales. That's pretty much it. With this, though, she's not really in the film that much until 15 minutes in. We don't really get the shark fighting, Jason Statham fighting the sharks until 15 minutes in. Or, not 15 minutes in, 15 minutes at the last part of the film. And also, the friendship with him and Mac, I really believe. I like that dynamic. It's really good. And the fact that they had the character DJ I noticed, like, has he lost weight? And he's actually lost a lot of weight. And they did like this funny callback where he knows how to swim. And he's like, man, last time everything happened, nah, I learned how to fight, I got in shape, I learned how to swim, and I'm like, all right, you're my new favorite character in this movie. He made the movie fun. I would say I liked the first film a lot more, just because it still has like that debut, like, oh my gosh, the Meg is finally becoming a movie. That's why I'm always going to like the first one. Unless they go all the way to Hell's Aquarium, then I actually might like that one. The second one is, it's kind of like Halloween 2. You know, if you watch the first Halloween, you know, you watch the second one right after. I can take it or leave it. It wasn't really that bad. I would give it, honestly, a C+. I would give it 3 shark teeth out of 5. Guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this review. Put in the comments down below if you did like the Meg Trench. Let me know what you liked about it, or let me know what you didn't like about it. Let me know if you want to read the book. I really want to know. Guys, don't forget to elbow drop that like button and spear the subscribe button for the 1, 2, 3, because in my next video, I'm going to be talking about how I would have done Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso at SummerSlam. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you in the ring.